Deep within the emerald embrace of Elarion, the forest breathed. Ancient trees whispered secrets to the wind, their leaves painted with dappled sunlight. A blanket of moss carpeted the forest floor, soft and yielding beneath the feet of its guardians, the elves. In this heart of magic and wonder lived Lyriel. With hair like spun moonlight and eyes like pools of liquid amethyst, she was the embodiment of Elarion's grace. Lyriel was gifted. Her touch, a balm to any wound, her presence a soothing whisper to troubled souls. The forest whispered its ancient knowledge to her and she listened. She learned the language of herbs and roots, the pulse of life that thrummed beneath the bark of trees. Lyriel became a healer, her name whispered with reverence throughout the glades. Elves sought her out, their wounds healing swiftly under her gentle touch. She tended not only to the physical, but also to the soul. When shadows lingered in the hearts of her people, Lyriel would sit with them, her voice a gentle melody that chased away the darkness. Her laughter echoed through the trees, a symphony of joy that resonated with the very spirit of Elarion. And so, Lyriel, the healer, lived among her kin, loved and revered by all. Elion, with eyes as blue as a summer sky and a laugh that could shake the leaves from the trees, was Elarion's protector. Strong and unwavering, he patrolled the borders, his bow ever vigilant. His heart belonged to the forest as much as Lyriel's did, though his duty manifested in a different form. Where she healed, he defended. Where she soothed, he fought. And yet their souls were spun from the same thread of magic, bound by an invisible cord to the heart of Elarion, Elion as Elion. Our paths crossed often beneath the emerald canopy. I'd return from patrols, my armor bearing the scars of recent skirmishes. Lyriel would tend to my wounds, her touch gentle yet firm. In those moments, the forest seemed to hold its breath, witnessing the silent exchange between us. A look, a touch, a shared laughter that echoed the ancient song of the woods. They spoke of simple things, the whisper of the wind through the leaves, the dance of fireflies beneath the moonlit sky, the strange formations of the clouds. With each meeting, a silent understanding bloomed between them, an unspoken bond that deepened with every stolen glance, every shared laugh. Until one day, beneath the emerald canopy, Elion took Lyriel's hand, his touch sending a jolt of warmth through her. And in that moment, amidst the silent watching trees, their destinies intertwined. Their love story became a tale whispered on the wind. The protector and the healer, two halves of Elarion's beating heart. Elion, ever vigilant, continued his patrols, his heart lighter now, fueled by the memory of Lyriel's smile. He'd bring her wildflowers, their petals holding the blush of a rising sun. Lyriel would weave them into her hair, their fragrance a sweet reminder of his love. Elion, as Elion, we exchanged vows in a glade bathed in moonlight. Ancient trees stood witness, their branches intertwined overhead, forming a canopy of blessings. Lyriel, radiant in a gown woven from moonlight and starlight, her hand clasped in my firm grip. I pledged my heart and my blade to her, my voice echoing with the strength of my love. Their happiness radiated through Elarion, a beacon of hope in a world slowly being consumed by shadows. Little did they know that a darkness, insidious and consuming, had already set its sights on their enchanted realm. A darkness that would test the very foundations of their love, a darkness that wore a deceptively beautiful face. Beyond the protective embrace of Elarion's ancient trees, a darkness stirred. Morwenna, the dark sorceress, coveted the forest's magic. Her heart, a withered husk, craved the power that pulsed within Elarion's very core. She watched from her obsidian tower, her eyes, two burning embers in the encroaching twilight.
She learned of Elion, the protector. She saw his love for Lyriel, the healer, and a venomous plan coiled within her. She appeared to Elion one night, not as a spectre of darkness, but as a vision of ethereal beauty. Her voice, a silken whisper, promised him power beyond imagination. Power to protect Elarion, not just from external threats, but from the slow decay of time itself.
She offered him immortality, a chance to stand by Lyriel's side forever. But the price was his loyalty, his soul. Elion, blinded by his desire to protect Lyriel, to shield her from the fleeting nature of mortal life, succumbed to Morwenna's allure. He pledged himself to her, unaware of the terrible price that would come with his vow. He had fallen prey to the sorceress's web of deceit, his love twisted into a weapon against the very heart he swore to protect. Whispers of Elion's change reached Lyriel like a cold wind through the trees. His patrols became less frequent, his presence a fleeting shadow that haunted the edges of her vision. His touch, once filled with warmth, now carried the chill of distant storms. Fear, sharp and cold, began to blossom in her heart. One day, Lyriel discovered a hidden grove, untouched even by her deepest wanderings. The air hummed with ancient magic. In the center, resting on a bed of moss, lay a crystal teardrop pulsing with a light that seemed to shift and swirl with the fabric of time itself. "The Time Weaver's tear," whispered the forest, its voice heavy with sorrow. Lyriel, guided by instinct and desperation, reached for the tear. A jolt of energy surged through her, visions flooding her mind. She saw Elion, his eyes filled with a chilling emptiness, pledging himself to Morwenna. She saw the darkness seeping into Elarion, twisting the roots of its ancient trees, poisoning the very air. And she knew, with a certainty that chilled her to the bone, she had to go back. She had to rewrite their tragic fate. With a whispered prayer to the Ancient Ones, Lyriel, clutching the Time Weaver's tear, let the current of time sweep her away. Lyriel landed harshly on the forest floor, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth. The Time Weaver's tear pulsed warmly against her chest, its magic anchoring her to this echo of the past. She found herself in the familiar glade where she and Elion had exchanged their vows, but the air held a different quality now. The laughter of the trees seemed muted, their leaves trembling with a premonition of the darkness to come. She sought out the allies she knew she could trust. The elder elves, their wisdom etched into their very beings, listened with heavy hearts as Lyriel recounted the horrors that awaited them. She spoke of Elion's betrayal, her voice choked with tears, and the pain in her amethyst eyes mirrored the agony that awaited Elarion. But in their eyes, she also saw a flicker of hope ignited by her courage, her determination to fight for their beloved Elarion. She was not alone. The elders pledged their support, their voices joining hers in a chorus of defiance against the encroaching darkness. They would stand with her, against Morwenna's insidious power, to protect their home and the sanctity of their love.